Excellent. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, those of you that have managed to make it to the call, we have had a little bit of a challenge with the link that was posted for this meeting, but some people find their way to get here, so that's good. And some of you will be watching this by video, so welcome to you as well. I'm going to run through a presentation about e-estate. E-estate is a very exciting project involved in real estate, tokenized real estate. That'll all come out in the presentation. But I just want to welcome you to the video and say that you're probably here for one of two reasons. Of course, if you're here for any other reason, you're more than welcome anyway. But I think you're here either because you have an interest in real estate or you have an interest in building an online business. And people from both of those walks of life find their way into my meetings and onto my videos. And you're welcome. If you are already involved in real estate, then what I'd say is don't be too full of yourself. I know that sometimes in real estate, I've been in real estate for many, many years, and sometimes we can get inflated with our own self importance about how many properties we own, how many developments we've made, how many skyscrapers we've sold, whatever part of real estate we're involved with. And what I would say is, as you've been told many, many times before, thinking like that will block you from receiving information. So open your mind to the information I'm going to give you just for the next half an hour, and then you can go back to thinking how you want after that, which is what I thought when I first saw this. Okay, so and if you're looking for an online business, you may not have any real estate background, you may not be particularly interested in real estate. It's like a black box technology. You put something in and you get money out, okay, in a passive sense and an active sense, then this will be good for you. You will enjoy it, and you'll realize that it's the forefront of technology in terms of tokenized real estate. So if you're either of those two groups of people, be prepared to open your mind and take on board what I'm saying, because it can be a life-changing moment when you see what e-estate is all about. So having said that, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to walk through a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. And people still laugh at me. I think it's funny because I was in computers before pretty much everyone you know. I was programming nuclear reactors in 1975. So I was in computers, I was in the internet probably before anybody you know. I posted my first web pages in 1994, though it had to be handwritten. Okay, and then people still laugh at me about the technology I use to give a presentation. But the reason I use a PowerPoint presentation is because it keeps me on track. If I were just to talk about this without any sort of prompt or any guidance, we'd probably still be here by tomorrow. As it is, I've managed to cut it down to about 6 hours of information. That's a joke. Don't leave. Oh, that was a joke. Okay, I've cut it down to about 30 minutes from now. So we're a few minutes behind the clock already, but 30 minutes from now, and you'll know everything I know, which by the time we get there, you'll realize how pitifully little that is. And yet I'm still making money from e-estate and real estate tokenized properties. So welcome to e-estate. My name's Andy Galloway. And I did mention I've got a background in real estate. I've owned properties. I used to have a property sourcing business. I had a business where we would help people who had fallen on hard times. Their property was going to be repossessed. They were distressed properties. So I've been involved in a number of different aspects. I used to tell people there are 10 different ways of making money with real estate. And now I've had to update that because e-estate is the 11th one. It's that significant of a change to the industry. It's like a whole new element of how to make money in real estate has been added on the side. And here it is. You're in it pretty much, or you're looking at it pretty much right at the very beginning. So what's all the fuss about? Well, all industries are moving from offline to online. Pretty much every business started off as an offline business. There was no such thing as online 50 years ago. Okay, so many businesses throughout history, with thousands and thousands of years of history, all business was done offline. And then somebody invented the internet, and somebody decided that what they would do is put some pages up to show off their products. And that's really all it was. It wasn't an online business. It was just a window to advertise their offline business in an offline world. But as things have progressed, we've moved into Web3, excuse me, like DeFi protocols and all sorts of things. And now it's entirely possible to bring almost every single industry and conduct the same business online. So a contract signed through a smart contract is as legitimate as what we used to do in real estate is drive over to a solicitor's office and they talk to the other solicitors and we'd have agreements and we'd sign them and then we had to make an amendment, so we'd have to sign them again and then we'd put money in each other's bank accounts and this sort of thing. And we'd put aside a whole day for that, including the champagne celebration afterwards, buying a property or a number of properties. It was an all-day event and probably involved, I remember the last one I did, I drove up to Manchester, which is about 4.5 hours from where I live. And it was such a long way. We had to stay overnight, went out for dinner after the deal was done and this sort of thing. With an online business now, I buy properties in about a minute and a half, maybe even less than that. It takes me almost no time at all to buy a share of a property. So that's kind of the change up. By bringing things online, it changes things dramatically. So all industries are doing it. This is what's happening with real estate. Is being tokenized or digitized, whichever word you prefer. Like I say, everybody's doing it. So it's not just about having a web presence. That was just a window into your offline business. And this means actually doing business online, even where the products are still in the real world. We refer to them as real world assets. You've probably seen that written as RWA. That's what it means, real world assets, but it's represented by an online tokenized value, whether it's real tokens or some other way of doing it. It's just a representation. Legally binding, that amount of tokens represents that share of that property. So it's via tokenization. So I get ahead of myself, but I keep track of the presentation just to make sure that I cover everything. And e-estate is in the forefront of tokenized real estate. And e-estate itself is a collaboration between two pre-existing companies, Eli Property Group Incorporated and the association Real Digital Realtors. I'm so sorry. So Eli Property Group Incorporated represents the real estate execution layer of the ecosystem. Whoa, I got that straight from the company's online blurb. But what it really means is anything to do with properties, they do that. They take care of all of that so that we don't have to. So they find the properties, they locate them, they check them to make sure that they're suitable for what we do. And they tokenize them, register the tokenization, advertise them. They put tenants in there to produce the income for us every day. And they look after the tenants so we don't have to. They look after repairs. And at the end of the day, when we're getting rid of the property, they're the ones that move the property for us. So we don't have to worry about any of that. Now, I looked at that and I thought, that's all the things that used to cause me headaches with my own real estate business. All of that is now gone. Brilliant. And if you're in real estate, you'll appreciate that as well. Now, who are these guys? Well, they've been around since 1973. So they've got over 50 years of operational experience. They've acquired, managed, developed, and sold properties across multiple US markets. I can give you the website that they advertise their business. You can go and check them out. I checked out all of their 50 years worth of financial filings with the US government. I've checked out some of the projects that they had. The acquisition. I checked out some acquisition. I checked out some development projects they did. Okay, and I was happy. I'm very fussy about who I deal with. I was very happy that Eli Property Group are doing what they say they're doing, and they're a great partner for e-estate. They're the ones that take care of everything to do with the property. Well, we're moving on. There we go. So the Association of Real Digital Realtors provides professional standards specifically to deal with tokenized real estate. So imagine this scenario. You've got this tremendous company that sources properties and does all the magic stuff they do with the properties. And then they hand them over to just a bunch of muppets who run around the internet doing whatever they like, telling all sorts of lies, jacking up the price, not complying with any rules, regulations, any agreement. It becomes a mess. So the Association Real Digital Realtors is kind of a professional standards body, if you like. It's not quite that strict, but it's along those lines for us, the agents that are going to be not only acquiring the properties, but also introducing other people to help them realize the benefits of tokenized real estate. So we need to know what we're talking about. We need to be trained. We need to be competent. We need to know what it is we're agreeing to. We need to agree to maintain professional standards in all our dealings, okay? So, because we don't want to be a bunch of muppets running around doing whatever we like. Because this is such a great opportunity, we don't want anybody to ruin it. So it's a professional association that establishes credibility, structure, and long-term career legitimacy for us, the agents, the digital agents. And they've established and continue to develop a global agent network for digital real estate assets. You'll see in a minute that I'll post some figures. So this is kind of how the whole thing works. It starts over here with the Eli Property Group, sourcing the properties, and they take care of the legalities, tokenization, the tenants, presents properties on the e-estate platform. They also get rid of the properties when we're done with them. The tokenized properties are made available on the e-estate platform. So there's no real selling and buying. They're advertised. Those buyers who want to then go to the site, go to the platform, and they buy as much or as little of that platform, that property as they want. And you haven't got to buy all of the properties. You can buy whatever you like. So the buyers then assess the deals and purchase the properties and organize their own portfolios. And then once we're a buyer, then our agents kind of say, well, listen, would it be beneficial to you to become an agent yourself? You just upgrade to become an agent. A buyer is a free position. It doesn't cost you anything. But to be an agent, there's a subscription of $90 a year, $9 a month. And by doing that, then you can also introduce some other people to help them get started. You haven't got to. You can stay as a buyer for your whole life. And in fact, if you have a real estate business, your real estate business can register as a buyer. Okay. So, and if you don't have a real estate business, but you want to create one specifically to take care of this, you can do that as well. And then AIDR ensures the standards required for digital real estate agents and monitors compliance. And then it goes round the loop again. So where are these properties? Okay, we don't have many properties, to be honest. We have about 11 at the moment, and they are there. You may recognize this. This is where we live. And we can have properties anywhere in the world. At the moment, we have a preponderance of properties of our properties in America. So I'll go through those. There are a few others scattered elsewhere. We've got some in Seattle. We've got 2 or 3 different properties in Seattle, one in Oregon, a few in California. We've got some in Miami. We've got one in Phoenix, Arizona. We've got one in Dubai. And I'll talk about the Dubai apartments in a minute because the value of those apartments has increased dramatically just in the last few months. And Bali, Indonesia. Okay, so if I wanted to get involved in all of those different parts of the world with property in my own real estate business, just the logistics of it, going to visit the properties and make all those contacts I would need in order to make the deals work and then keep tenants in them, the whole thing would be, I'm not going to say impossible because impossible is not really impossible, but it would be very, very difficult, very expensive, a lot of headaches, and I really wouldn't want to do it. So with this setup, you can buy a share of a property anywhere in the world. Wherever Eli Property Group Incorporated sources a property, then you can buy a share of that property. And it's not just properties, it's land deals and commercial properties and a lot of other things. We'll talk about that all in a minute. So we have apartments and houses, and then we have a lake house and a desert villa. We have some other villas. We've got a villa that's just rented out for tourism. Okay, we have commercial properties, business properties, land plots, development projects, and business development projects. I'm going to talk about some of the development projects and what a great deal they are because they operate under different rules than the rest of the operation. Lost my mouse. I had one when I came in. There we go. So these are some statistics pulled from our 2025 financial report. So we have 11 tokenized real estate projects. We have $104 million worth of tokenized property, 104.6 million total value of tokenized properties. We have 2 million, we've sold over 2 million EST tokens. Now, when we tokenize a property, what we do is we break it down into a certain number of tokens. Each token is worth about $10. In fact, I'd go further than that. I'd say each token is worth $10 at the time of the valuation. Now, that's an important point. If you're in real estate, hold on to that thought. At the point that that's valued is worth $10 per token. So this represents over $20 million worth of sales. And you know, we're only just getting started, but some of you will agree with me, $20 million worth of sales in anything proves that it works. Whatever it is, $20 million worth of bubblegum sales, $20 million worth of soft drinks, it works, okay? The total payout to buyers so far, because the properties earn money every single day, is over 2.6 million. Now, this is a couple of months old because this is taken from the 2025 financial report that was produced on the 1st of January 2026. Sorry, don't know if it was produced then. That's when the figures were calculated for. And then the tokens, the EST holders, we have 5.6 million. It's probably sorry, not million, thousand. So we probably have 6,000, maybe even more than that by now. And we have access from 120 plus different countries. So if you know people in different parts of the world, they can get involved in this. There are no boundaries, no barriers. I prepared this slide. Actually, we've just released a tourism-based villa, and it's currently undergoing tokenization. That's out of date now. It's just been tokenized. So the property is worth $3.3 million, and so the estimated token supply is 330,000. $10 each. Okay, so it's one of the most established vacation markets in the country. This is Maui in Hawaii Islands. So yeah, there we have the one of our latest properties. Again, this is lifted from the 2025 financial report, and again, this is for my friends in real estate already because we like to look at the numbers. This is the portfolio that we had on the 1st of January. These are the valuations, and you can see there's a difference between the initial valuation and the actual valuation as of the 1st of January. And so you can see that pretty much all of those properties have gone up in price, some only by a few percent. But let me just show you one particular property that I want to pull out of the pack, is this Dubai development. Okay, it was valued when we first acquired it. It was valued at 25 million. And so at 25 million, $10 a pop, there were 2.5 million tokens produced. Now, I don't know if any of those tokens are still available, but if they are, they're still available at $10 each, which means that you're buying property now as if it was worth 25 million. But look at the price as of the 1st of January, that was worth 40 million. So you can go right now, you can buy tokens in a property as if it was worth 25 million, but it's actually worth 40 million. What that means is immediately you have a 62.5% increase in your asset. Okay, you're buying, how would you like to buy a property that's worth $1 million now, but last year was worth 750,000, so you buy it at $750,000. But now it's worth $1 million. You love that. If you understand real estate, you would jump at that all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. So this is an example that I wanted to put together. And I said earlier, just think about the development and think about investing and how real estate people do it. So imagine you put $100,000 into estate right now because you're going to buy a development property. Now, the way I better explain how the money works. You normally buy a property and you receive a daily profit, a daily payout, if you like, Monday to Friday, 5 days a week, every month or every week, every month for 18 months. So within that time frame, the profit you're going to receive is going to repay your initial investment plus give you a healthy profit. Sometimes you'll double your money in 18 months. Sometimes it'll be 3 times your money within 18 months. But at the 18-month point, what happens is that property drops into something called the passive phase. And now it's like, imagine having a share certificate from Microsoft. Only these shares are going to pay out because Microsoft and Tesla and everybody else are not paying out their shares at the moment. But these pay out 10% per year, guaranteed every year, 10% of whatever you put in, you're going to receive that as a share. Then at a later stage, when the property has reached its end of useful life for us, Eli Property Group will get rid of that property and they will return to you your original investment. So that's what normally happens. That's 95% of the properties. That's how the deal is set up. So you get profit and then you get dividends and then you get your money back right at the end. Now, with this development property, the one on the screen now, the reason I've chosen this is because you don't go into that passive phase. At the 18-month period, they just give you your money back. So you earn profit for 18 months, then you get your money back. I've never seen anything like that in real estate. If you're in real estate, you've never seen anything like this in real estate either. So let me share this with you. Your $100,000 is returned to you in daily profits in around 5 months. Then you continue to earn at that level. So in the remaining 13 months, you receive another 231,000, which means that by the time the 18 months phase is finished, you've earned, so you put 100,000 in, you've earned 330,000, and then you get your 100,000 back again. So you've turned 100,000 into 431,000 in 18 months. 431% gain in 18 months. Now, I'll tell you why that's such a good deal. And if you're in real estate, you'll be thinking, well, I've seen better. Let me tell you, one of the best deals I'm involved in right now is that I've got an investor who's going to put in about £10 million. So that's about $13–14 million. We're going to do some magic stuff. I'm not going to explain the deal, but basically we're going to buy some land, develop, get some planning permission and so on. Then we're going to sell on this piece of land with the planning permission. And he's going to double his money. I'm going to make a healthy commission as well. So it's going to be like 2.2, 220% on his money in about 18 months. Now, this deal is fraught with danger. There could be a war. There could be all sorts of things happen. We might not be able to get the buyer. They might want to buy it at a cheaper price. Things might cost, in property, things always cost more than you think. It always takes longer than you thought. And there's always more hassle than you thought. That's like rule number one of being in real estate. Okay, so if everything goes well, downhill with a fair wind, he can double his money in 18 months. Brilliant. With this, he will get 431% gain in 18 months. Okay, now that deal I've just explained to you, that's the best deal I've put together in 20 years, maybe. Very long time. It doesn't come along every day, that type of deal. Everything had to just fall in place for me to get that deal. Now all I need is the investor. Okay, this happens all day, every day. When this property is gone, there'll be another one. There'll be a similar deal. So if you're in real estate, stop being, stop thinking you know everything. Look at this. This is the best thing you're ever going to see in real estate. I mean that very, very sincerely. So what do you do now? You get back to the person who invited you or the person who sent you this video and get their e-estate agent's referral link. Then you register in e-estate and look around the site. It's only about 6 pages, but there's a huge amount of information. Now, if you have a business and you want that business to register as a buyer, select the business option when you're registering. Okay, so there's a big button at the top. When you first go on the page, it's the green bit is the personal account, and you just click the business account and you can register a business. Okay, so you can make double the money. If you know what you're doing with your real estate business, you can add this in and you actually make, double bubble on pretty much everything you do through e-estate, and you'll understand that. If not, your accountant will. Now, I know I spent a bit of time there talking about a deal like 100,000, but if they're doing that with 100,000, The deals for $100, $200, $1,000, $5,000, they're not as good as that, but they're of the same pedigree. You won't see better deals than this in real estate. You won't be able to buy into a villa in Florida for $1,000 except through e-estate. Okay. If you want a villa in Florida in real estate, you have to go and find 3.3 million to buy it. And oh, sorry, let's get rid of this phone call. There we go. Yeah, so all the deals, big, small, in between, they are all good deals. So what to do now? Yeah, discuss your real estate plans with your introducer. They will help you figure out your strategy, where to put your money, how many properties buy, how to compound your profits, and so on and so forth. There's all sorts of tricks and strategies. You just need to bounce them off of somebody who knows what they're talking about. If you're thinking of introducing other people, register as an agent. It's $90 a year or $9 a month. Deposit your investment funds, and you can deposit in one of 50 different cryptocurrencies. I haven't counted them, but there's a lot. I don't know, maybe 20, 25, who knows? But there's a lot. So, it includes all the big coins, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, several different flavors of USDT, USDC, and so on. So any cryptocurrency you've got hanging around, chuck it in there, and you can buy properties. Then you can join the e-estate Telegram groups, Facebook groups, etc. There's a list of all the different social media at the foot of every page, and also under the Info Hub menu option. The Info Hub is where we have everything we need, documents, legal documents, company documents, presentations, all sorts of things, all in the Info Hub, everything you could possibly need. So in your back office, in the knowledge base, you can find a roadmap to the future of tokenized real estate. That's a tremendous document. It maps everything out to 2034. The company registration certificate for e-estate, legal entity identifier certificate, partnership certificate with ARDR. There's some detailed information about the lake house, and also the same for the desert villa. There's a 2025 financial report. There's the agent employment contract, a real estate token purchase contract. With every purchase, you get a bespoke contract for those tokens that you purchased. But if you want to see a blank one, if you like, then there's one available in your back office. There's a buyer presentation, an agent presentation. So if you want to sit down and talk to one of your friends about this, you can get the buyer presentation out, work through it, discuss it, point at different things, answer their questions, everything. There's so much information in these presentations, everything you could possibly want to know. There's an agent charter, an agent code of conduct. And if you're really keen, you're a great networker and a great online business person, you think this looks brilliant, I'm going to build this fast, there's an agent fast start playbook. Get that, digest that. It'll take you about 20 minutes to get that through. Write down your list of things you need to do, pick up the phone and get on with it, and you will grow fast. And there's a merch design as well. There's a part of the website you can buy hats and polo shirts and mugs and things, because some people like to be their own best advert. Sometimes you work with a mug that says something pithy about making money in real estate, and people will say, what's that about? There we go, the conversation started. So some people like the merch. The same thing with the hat, the polo shirts, the t-shirts, and all the rest of it. So enjoy the merch. It's good. So there we are, an introduction to e-estate, 26th of March. My name's been Andy Galloway. I'm going to stop the share now, come back to the room, and we were actually a couple of minutes early. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to take your questions before I switch the recording off. So if you have any questions, please feel free, unmute yourself and come and say hi. And if not, I just assume you all know everything I know, and that it was the best presentation you've ever seen. That's why you have no questions. Okay, thank you for the hearts. I can't quite see who that was, but oh, Mervyn, thank you for the hearts. I love you too, brother. Thank you, guys. Well, if there are no questions, I can't really add anything. I've given you my best stuff for the last 30 minutes. And if you make the decision to, I think really it's down to three. You got three options now. on this decision. One decision is walk away and do nothing, in which case, thank you for spending your time with me. I'm sorry that this isn't something you're looking for, but keep looking. You will find what you're looking for, I'm sure. The second thing is that if you say this is the best thing I've ever seen, I want to go and get in now, then that's the second option. And the third option is it looks interesting enough for me to get some more information, go on another presentation, maybe go register anyway for free and go and have a look around the website, maybe get back to the person who introduced you, find out a little bit more information. And I just hope that if he's either of those, the second or third option, then I wish you luck with getting your estate business up and running, and I hope it'll be fulfilling for you and financially rewarding. I'm sure it will be. If you do it right, it absolutely will be. So God bless all of you. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I do appreciate it. I'll be doing this same presentation. Actually, it's never the same presentation. I'll be doing a presentation in this same time slot. Bear in mind the clocks in the UK are changing this weekend, so look out in the Telegram group or the Facebook group, wherever you got this link. Okay, the time will be an hour different from where you are now, and yeah, I'll bring some people on and look forward to seeing you next week. I'm going to stop the recording because I've kind of wound everything down. I think I stopped the recording.